What's going on, guys? It is push day. Sitting here, coming up on 8 weeks, right?
Yeah,
8 weeks out. This Saturday, things are moving, you know, in all aspects of life. We're obviously in the new gym now. We are getting closer to all the shows. Me, Brian's, and Liv's. You know, school's out for the summer. Brooklyn just graduated kindergarten yesterday. Congrats, Brooklyn. But yeah, life is good, but life's starting to get pretty serious with the whole bodybuilding thing. Definitely one of those things I'm starting to go to bed and wake up thinking about. You know, it's definitely hitting. You know, it always happens. You know, starting to get into the territory. You know, like driving to the gym, getting all emotional, thinking about what you're doing and stuff. But you know, that's what I love about this. Makes me feel really, really alive. So, getting back to what we're actually doing today, we're gonna be training push today. We've spoken the last couple weeks about how, you know, we're trying to get to true A and B variations on all of the workouts, not just, you know, the pull workout and the leg workout. So today is the first day of that variation on the push day. Last push workout you saw, it'll make it in this video, huh?
No, this is the new one.
This is for the new video?
So you already saw it.
Okay, so yeah, I guess in last week's YouTube, or no, this is for this week's. This is like the outro for this week's, right? Or is this for today's?
2's about to come out.
You have everything you need for 2?
Yes.
We're done with 2, except for Q&A?
This will be 3.
Okay, this is all 3.
So in last week's episode, you saw the variation of the push day. Yeah. Today's going to be a different one. It is cool because him and I, we haven't used dumbbells to press with in a very long time because we either don't have dumbbells that are heavy enough or a bench that's wide enough that we feel safe pressing on. So today we have wide benches, not the one we're sitting on, and we have dumbbells up to 200 pounds.
Yeah. So in light of what he said today, you know, just so you know the order, we're definitely going to go from like probably a low incline dumbbell press over to the prime incline, then to a high band, reverse band Smith press, you know, for shoulders. But you know, being it is the first time that you've done that exercise and God knows how long, definitely are going to be, you know, extra cautious, not going to be completely full sending failure reps and trying to really push the weight. Just, you know, get back to using dumbbells. The fact that I haven't used them in so long will make it a novel stimulus enough. We'll just need to work to some hard sets and it'll get the job done. That's what I'm getting at. So want to work hard, but definitely want to work smart, especially as we get closer to the show. That's the kind of things I think about as I get closer to the show, not like completely changing my training style or completely like changing my exercise selection, you know, just being cognizant of the fact that, you know, yes, the energy is getting lower, yes, I am getting more fragile, so, you know, just paying attention to things. But yeah. So roll out, bodybuilding yoga,
yep,
get to it, do the damn thing.
Yep, time to go.
What's up, guys? So today was pull.
As you can tell.
Yeah, right. Brian has his deadlift shirt on. So we trained push yesterday. You all saw that workout. We trained pull today. Today is, one of the pull variations. I don't really know which one's A and which one's B at this point, but it's the spine loading day. So we deadlifted today. Pretty standard day except for one fact. I'll get to that fact. But started with straight arms. Really enjoyed the fact that we have that unilateral cable Life Fitness pull down. Now we're able to do like the cuff for each hand and really get a good feel and get some blood in the lats. Then from there moved on to our Nautilus single arm pull downs. Once again, rare piece, not made anymore, and really a perfect profile to engage that lower lat that we're after so dearly for me right now. From there, like I said, it's the spinal loading day. Moved on to what normally in the last 2 years has been banded rack pulls. We thought we were going to use our prime trap bar today, but once we started getting some weight on it, it became very apparent that while it's an awesome bar, especially probably to use for a hip hinge or a more traditional deadlift, because of the fact that it's around you, it didn't load my back nearly as much as a traditional deadlift or a rack pull, and that's what we're after today. So hit the audible button, and I drank Brian's Kool-Aid. He's been after me to start pulling from the ground again for a very long time now, and I pulled from the ground today and loved it. So I think we hit, 6 plates for 6 today?
Yep, 6 for 6.
So 6 for 6 is the starting spot. The last rep was definitely a grinder, but in the same breath, definitely, stayed safe and controlled today. I haven't pulled off the ground in probably how long?
Years.
Since raw, right?
Yeah,
a long time ago. It's been at least 2 years.
Since before you injured your bicep.
Yeah, before I was pro. Yeah.
Yeah.
Way before I was pro, actually. So yeah, needless to say, it's been a hot minute since I've deadlifted. So I know 6 for 6 really isn't that impressive for someone my size, but keep an eye out in the coming weeks. I'm gonna boost those numbers up. I know they're rookie numbers. But anyways, so we hit those deadlifts today. Brian had a really good set, and then from there moved on to a single arm prime row, really focusing on keeping the elbow tucked and that lat engaged throughout the whole range of motion.
With the seat pretty high up on it.
Yeah, so basically the seat high up enough to where when you're at the bottom of the rep, there's not like an extreme angle. You want it pretty much 90 degree, maybe a little less than 90, but roundabouts. So did 2 really hard 2 failure working sets there with an emphasis on the lower lat. And then bumped the seat up, I guess
all the way down.
Yeah, bumped the seat down
because we wanted to hit upper back.
And then went from doing that unilateral elbow tuck to
like a high row, like upper back, and that was good because with the seat all the way down, you can drive your chest really into the pad, and those handles are pretty cool where you can actually spread apart at the top end. So it really hit that upper back part, which is really the only piece that we were missing in the workout. So
definitely. And if you've watched our training the last couple of months, typically what we'll do for that upper back row is that Arsenal Humbler, that Arsenal T-bar. But it's just with anything, you start running things into the dirt, sometimes something gets irritated just because of the angle. It had been irritating my elbow a little bit the last couple of times we've done it, to the point where I wasn't really able to oomph my top set like I wanted to. Problem completely solved by going to the prime row. Still the same movement pattern, but not hurting there. So, just little adjustments here and there, but, still working the same musculature. Yeah, anything else?
It's a good day.
Yeah, it was a great day.
First day we deadlifted in this gym.
Yeah, first day we deadlifted, right? So, what is coming up? This Saturday, I will be coming up on 8 weeks out, and then he will be coming up on 11? 11 weeks out from his qualifier, and then
14 today.
Today for North America. It's a Thursday show. And then, like I said, I'm 8 out from Chicago as of this Saturday. Really cool thing we're actually going to be doing like Sunday through Wednesday. My family takes like a big trip to right outside of Destin, Seaside, Florida every single year. And, this year, me, Brian, Liv, Ryan Brown, our therapist, like everyone's going with their families. So, lots of kids, lots of fun, but taking my Osmo with me, taking the other cameras with me. Gonna get some good footage of us jacking off at the beach, and then also gonna get good footage of the training sessions while we're there. Really like the gym that's there. It actually blows my mind there's a gym this nice in this little beach town, but we'll be training at a gym called Great in Fitness, and really looking forward to training there. The owner, Paul's a great guy, always takes care of me and the family, and looking forward to introducing Brian to him and playing with all his weights, blowing some dust off his heavy dumbbells.
So we'll be doing the exact same thing, just in Florida next week.
Yep. Yeah. Might train after one meal too. Just because it's the push and the pull workouts, but the pull is no deadlifts, so I'm not going to call it the easy day, but it's the non-spinal loading day. Yeah. And, you know, anyone who's ever been to the beach knows the sun don't play games, so we'll probably end up, you know, getting up, eating, training on one meal, going to the beach, and then, you know, going back and doing cardio later in the day whenever. It doesn't matter if we're dog shit tired. So looking forward to that, looking forward to sharing it with y'all, and really loving getting these YouTube series rolling again. First couple episodes have a great reception, a lot of support, a lot of good, you know, questions and criticism, so we appreciate that. And you know, like I say at the end of every single episode, if you like this, be sure to subscribe so you can know when the next one comes out. Be sure to follow Brian and I on social media. Both of us are on Instagram posting up our workouts very regularly along with progress photos. And then finally, if you have any questions you'd like to hear answered, please leave them in the comments of this video. We'll typically do a Q&A section in every single video, so it's a great way to get your questions answered. Appreciate y'all. See you next time. What's up, guys? I am back from Florida. You probably just saw like the 3 pictures in like one 20-second video I took while I was there. No, I said we'd be bringing y'all some content from it, so I didn't technically lie, but to be honest with you, we were having too much fun on vacation. To summarize the trip, everyone was perfectly on their diets the whole time. Training was perfectly on point. We were at Great in Fitness one day and then the Gold's Gym in Destin the next. You know, everything was perfectly on point, and then, you know, actually since we were at the beach, like everyone's activity level was like 3 or 4 times what it normally is, and, you know, it was fun. So I feel like I came back way better from it, came back, you know, pretty mentally refreshed, ready for this little home stretch, you know, coming up 7 weeks out today. And yeah, so came back mentally refreshed, ready to rock and roll. But I promised y'all a Q&A. I put it up on my Instagram story yesterday, so I'm just going to kind of go through and answer some of these questions. And that'll wrap this week's episode. And then I'm about to walk out there and train push for next week's episode, so get excited about that. All right, first up. What's worse on prep, alcohol or dairy? Well, one is a poison with absolutely no place in bodybuilding that severely sets you back for a day, 2, maybe even 3 days when it comes to hydration and protein synthesis. The other is a protein source / fat source that some people don't handle that well and cause some mild digestion issues. So based off those descriptions, hopefully you can answer it for yourself. If not, I'll just go ahead and say it. Alcohol has no place in bodybuilding. That being said, there are times and places for everything. I'm very aware you can't live like a monk all year long, but just know every time you drink, you're setting yourself back for 2 or 3 days. I'll drink once in a blue moon. I know what I'm doing to myself. Like I said, just know what you're doing. Treadmill, 60 minutes at once daily or 30 minutes twice a day for burning fat. So I'm going to answer this one more of like a 50,000 foot view than like this question specifically, and that is, how should you do your cardio? My favorite ways to do cardio are either fasted in the morning or post-training. Fasted in the morning because your blood glucose will be completely bottomed out and you really will be in the best state to burn fat. And it honestly gets you in a pretty good routine because as you get into prep, you know, you're starving in the morning and you can't eat till you do your cardio, so it makes you get up and get to the gym and get your shit done. And honestly, whenever you get done with it and that box is checked, if you don't have any more cardio for the rest of the day, all you can focus on is training. You've done like the hard, shitty part. So really a fan of fasted. The other part that part of the day that I'm a fan of doing cardio during is in the post-training window. Why? Similarly, for the reason that I like fasted is that you're in a pretty much fasted state. You know, it's been 3, maybe 4 hours since you've eaten. Your blood glucose is about as low as it's going to get, and you're, for all practical intents and purposes, in a fasted state. In addition to the fact that you just got done training, so your heart rate's elevated, and you have what's called EPOC going. excess post-exercise oxygen consumption. You can sound out whatever the words say, but that's a very fancy way of saying for several hours after you get done training, your body is using more oxygen to like replenish everything that happened while you're training, and you're in a state that is burning more calories. So we can further fuel that fire by doing our cardio post-training. Getting to this question, if you're doing more than 30 minutes of cardio a day, I really would probably recommend splitting it. 30 minutes is acceptable at one point, but once you get into that 40-minute, 50-minute, even an hour range, I'd much rather see someone do 30 minutes fasted and 20 minutes post, or 30 minutes fasted, 30 minutes post. Split the sessions up, you know, because really and truly, you know, you do an hour fasted, that is going to start eating into tissue, especially, you know, for non-enhanced people or people that are really trying to lose a lot of fat. Can't improve numbers regularly on push-pull arms, legs. Could it be lack of sleep alone? This is another one of those questions I'm going to kind of like come up to 50,000 feet and answer in a more broad way, and then specifically answer this guy's question. But if your numbers aren't regularly improving, it doesn't have to be a push-pull arms leg split. If you're tracking your numbers and you're training truly in a progressive overload style, if your numbers are regularly staying the same or regularly going down and not improving, there are a lot of things you need to look at. I'm going to kind of go down the list of, you know, importance in my opinion, and we can go from there. First and foremost is sleep. If you're not sleeping, you're not recovering. If you're not recovering, your numbers aren't going to go up. That's plain and simple. Second thing is nutrition. If the food isn't there, your numbers won't be there. It's very unrealistic to expect an increase in performance when you're in a caloric deficit or whenever you're not taking care of your nutritional needs. Next one, hydration. This is one that I could be better on if I'm being honest with you, but a hydrated muscle is a strong muscle, and a hydrated body is a body that's functioning properly with your digestion and everything else that encompasses things that go into your recovery. If you're not processing your food optimally, you're not recovering optimally. If your muscles aren't hydrated, you're not performing optimally in the gym. So hydration is a big deal as well. Continuing down the list, once you check those 3 boxes, the next one in my book is volume. You need to examine if your volume's too high. More often than not, especially for people who are new to training on a split like this or new to really pushing progressive overload, they've come from training in a way, you know, where like it's normal for them to do, you know, like 4 sets on 5 exercises, 20 working sets. So when they come over to try and like train progressive overload style on some of these exercises, they're into that 8 to 10 to 12 working set range, and with that intensity that they're trying to bring and that they're learning to bring, it'll become way too much way too quickly. To give you an idea, on all of our days at this point, 8 sets is the top amount of working sets we'll ever do. And you know, it's as low as, if you take out the calves and adductors and stuff, on our quad days, we'll do 2 working sets sometimes. So really look at your volume. If your numbers aren't improving, you can peel your volume back and you'll see a pretty good increase, in my opinion, typically. Can't improve numbers regularly. What else? That's a pretty good jumping off point, honestly. So take a look at all of that stuff. Let's do a couple more. This is another good one. Any recommendations to help with tendinitis? Tendinitis being the inflammation of the connective tissue, not the actual muscle, but the connective tissue of the muscle. It's caused by that connective tissue basically getting rubbed raw. It's basically like a blister almost on your tendon, and if it gets severe enough, it quite literally can be like a blister internally. So that's what causes the pain. What causes it to rub more than normal or get overused? Improper joint alignment. This is one of my biggest things with training across all of the body parts, and it will make the biggest difference in the world for those of you that have really painful knees, really painful elbows. You know, elbows are probably the main culprit because, you know, people are jackasses with how they train arms and stuff. But really pay attention to proper joint alignment. So, you know, regardless, I'll use a bicep curl for an example. You know, you see a lot of people curling, you know, like with their arms like way in here and they're curling like that, or they're way turned out. Notice how this, and this is not in a line, and where's taking the brunt of that torsion? Your elbow's taking the brunt of that torsion. Pay attention to keeping everything in a straight line. You'll really see when Brian and I train and we're explaining things, we pay a lot of attention to joint alignment, A, because it's going to get the best contraction of the muscle and work the muscle the best, but B, it's going to give us the most longevity because we're not tugging on tendons the wrong way, we're not pulling them in ways they shouldn't be going. And another thing, and this is another big one too, stop doing what hurts it. There is nothing that you absolutely have to do in the gym. There's no one exercise that if you don't do, you won't be a good bodybuilder. I was hammering the Arsenal chest-supported rows into the ground with Brian for 8 months straight this off-season. It started really, really hurting my elbows. Guess what? We stopped doing that, and I started doing a different kind of row until it calmed down a little bit, and we put them back in. You're always going to have some aches and pains when you're training. If the aches and pains are bad enough to where it's impacting your ability to take your top sets to where you need to take them, though, it's time to pull that exercise out and address the issue. So that's my 2 cents on tendonitis. This was a really good one, and it has absolutely nothing to do with bodybuilding, but I really actually spent like 15 minutes thinking about it after I got asked. And that is, what is more important to you, money or happiness? And, I spent a lot of time thinking about it, and, immediately, I blurted out happiness. And, and then in my head, and I said this on my story, it's like, well, happiness doesn't put food on the table or a roof over your head. So the more and more I thought about it, this is what I came up with. I think both are important. I think once you reach a level of income that you're able to comfortably sustain the level of life that you want, regardless of, whether that's a $100,000 a year lifestyle or a $10 million a year lifestyle. Once you reach, what you're comfortable with, more is just going to be more. More is just headaches. Money can't buy happiness. That statement is true at that point once you've taken care of yourself. So once you're able to reach that level of, security that you aren't worried about your basic necessities and you aren't worried about, where things are going to come from, I would definitely choose money over happiness. So that was my little existential life question that I pondered on yesterday. But anyways, if you can't tell, I'm pretty cracked out on pre-workout right now. So I am going to get ready to go train. I'll see y'all during next week's episode. Looking forward to showing y'all what's going to be the push A workout in our new split. And that new split will be a new video that we're going to put out sooner than later. We're going to do a standalone video on it because it's a lot to talk about, and I feel like a lot of people want to hear about it at this point. So make sure to keep y'all posted on that one. But as always, if you like this, be sure to subscribe to Labrada Nutrition's YouTube so you can know when these videos are coming out. We're doing our best to release one a week at this point. We've hit our mark every single time, and I think we're going to keep it up the rest of the year, barring any acts of God or crazy things happening. And also, if you have any questions, you're much more likely to get them answered in the little Q&A portion if you leave them in the comments on the YouTube video. So if you have any questions that you want answered, leave them in the comments of this video. Also, we're always looking for input. We're always looking to make these videos more interesting. So if there's something that you want to see, hit us in the comments with it. Enough people have asked that, in the coming weeks, we're definitely going to do a day of eating. Like I said, we're definitely going to really in-depth break out the split. But let us know what else you want to see, whether it be body work, stuff outside of the gym, like cars and trucks or guns, whatever. Just let us know what you want to see in the comments, and we'll do our best to make it happen.